Hey everyone, I'm THPine and welcome to Solitairica. What is Solitairica, you ask? I like to call it a Rogue-Lite Solitaire RPG. It released a few days ago and this is what it looks like. So what is a Solitaire RPG, I hear you asking? Well, it's basically a pretty simple version of Solitaire combined with RPG elements like spells and enemies who attack you and health and stuff like that. So you have, like, the game consists of multiple battles in a row, and every battle is one game of Solitaire. So this time we're fighting Bjord, and in order to defeat Bjord, we have to win this game of Solitaire by matching all those cards. So how does this work? We have one active card over here, which is an 8 in this case, and we can match every card that is either one higher or one lower than this card, so a 9 or a 10. So we have a pretty lot choices, a lot of different choices here, 2 10s and 2 9s. Let's just pick this 9. And now the 9 is the active card, so now we can match a 10. And that's pretty good because now we can match a 9. It's a pretty good start to this match, actually. I'm pretty lucky so far. And we can match a 10 again. Perfect, we just discovered a jack, which we can match now. Go to the queen. This is amazing. Okay, this is really lucky. This is a really good start. Because this gives us it doesn't give us a streak, but we got a lot of cards on our first turn already, which is great. Okay, so now the jack is not matching anymore, which means I have to end my turn, but I do so by drawing the next card. However, before I can draw the next card, the enemy will actually draw a card from his attack deck and attack us with it. Well, not in this case, because this is actually a delayed attack. You see the hourglass symbol here, so he will attack us next turn with a pointy stick for 3 damage. So now we have another turn, which we can use to match more cards. We can't, however, because the 4 is not actually matching anything of any of those cards, which is unfortunate. So we just take the damage, I guess, to the heart. So we just lost 3 HP. When the HP drops to 0, we're dead and we lose the game. Since it's a roguelite, you actually have to completely restart. There's some meta progression, I will explain that later, but yeah, it's a roguelite. So if you die, you die. So anyway, now we got a 9, which is good, because it means we can match the 8 and the 7. So you see, every time I draw a card from the deck or I match a card, I gain energy over here. We have 4 different kinds of energy, and which energy we get is based on the cards we take on the color. So we have orange for attack, blue for defense, green for agility, and purple for willpower. And we use the energy to use our spells over here. But before we do that, let's just collect more cards. So because we can match the 7, we can either match the 8 or the 6. Let's go for the 6 because it discovers a new card. Perfect, that's a 5. And there we go. Now we're stuck again. However, we have enough energy to use our attack spell. We can check the spells over here. These are only the starting spells for this particular deck, and they're pretty basic. So we get more interesting spells later. But right now, our attack spell is Stab, which will deal, it will deal damage to one front card. Not necessarily destroy it. In most cases, yes, but there are some circumstances where damaging a card will not actually destroy it. So in this case, it will though. So let's destroy, let's say the ace. I'm fine with the ace. Oh, we discovered a 4. Nice. Okay, cool. Now, additionally, we can use our defense spell, which will give us 2 armor. We actually can use that, do that twice. Very good. We could use this spell as well, but this is one of the weakest spells in the game. Let's just demonstrate it. It's completely pointless to use it right now, but there are really rare situations to use it properly anyway. So it's not really a waste. It costs 1 agility energy, and if we use it, we see the next card from our deck. So we know our next card will be a 6. We have to draw this anyway, so this was completely pointless information. So let's just press that. And he will do his next turn. He will beard 2 cards. Bearding, this is one of the, well, if a card has a beard, this is one of the situations where an attack, or where damaging it will not destroy it. So if I would use the attack spell now on one of those cards, it would just destroy the beard, but not the card. However, matching it will destroy it anyway. So I can go 7, 8, and it will be gone anyway. Okay, we unlock our heal spell, which is good, so we can heal up a bit. And let's just demonstrate it. So this will just destroy the beard instead of destroying the card. There we go. Not a big deal though, because we will win this easily anyway. There's one more important thing I skipped so far. I'm playing the warrior deck, which means my deck only consists of orange and blue cards. So every card I draw will either give me an orange or a blue energy point, and I can only get green and purple or gold for coins. We will see what coins are for in a moment, by matching cards on the board. So since I'm the warrior, my main colors are basically, or my main spells will be orange and blue, because this is the energy I get the most. So, okay, let's draw the next card and see what happens. He beards the card as well, again, which is not great, but not too big of a deal either. Let's just hope we draw a fitting matching card. So let's talk about coins in the meantime, shall we? So we collect coins during the battle and we gain it through other means as well. Okay, let's talk about coins in a moment because two things happened right now. Okay, I draw the Ace of Energy. This is not a regular card. I upgraded my deck, which is part of the meta progression of the game, which replaced the aces in my deck. As I said, my card consists of blue and orange cards. So I have two aces, the blue and the orange one, and they got replaced by the blue and the orange Ace of Energy. And when I draw those, I don't get only 1 point of energy. I get 3. So I got 3 blue energy, which is good because it means I can get more armor, which is not super necessary, but anyway. And the ace is actually matching both cards, and we can choose which to pick, or we go for the 2 because then we see what the last card is, which might be useful. And it actually fits great, and we get a bunch of coins, so that's good as well. Now we hope for an ace, queen, or 2 red cards, orange cards, so we can actually just destroy. Well, it's bearded, so that's not too useful. So actually, queen or 2 would be pretty good, or a lot of orange. So, there we go, an ace. Did I say 2? I meant ace and queen, obviously. There we go, and we defeated Bjord, and now we get some rewards. So we have to break the seal by pressing it twice for some reason. This feels really mobile-esque for some reason. And then we gain coins. We gain coins for the bounty, for just defeating him. Then we gain coins for the coin cards we collected. We don't have any influence on those though, because like we have to collect all the cards anyway. So it just depends on how many coin cards are in the deck, or not in the deck, in the game. Our deck doesn't have any coin cards, obviously. So yeah, we got 33 coins. So there's a third way of getting coins, which is a streak. I will talk about that as soon as it happens, though. Okay, so we defeated Bjord. That was the second battle, actually. So this is the third battle. You can see all those cards. Every card is an enemy, and the enemies are split into groups of 3. And this is a roguelite, so this is kind of randomized. Every group will always consist of the same 3 enemies, but the order will be randomized in this group. And also there are random like buffs and debuffs to the cards. Not in the first group, but you will see that in the second group and following. Which will change the battle as well. So now we have to fight the Claw Fiend. But before we do that, we can go to the shop and buy some stuff with the coins we got. So we had some coins from the first battle. Now we got another 33 from the second. And now we can buy stuff. We can buy spells and items. This spell. Oh, and this one. I think I want those to spell properly. So actually, this one is good as well. Oh god. Okay. Let's explain the spell, shall we? Really quick. Alchemy costs 1 willpower and converts 1 front card to a triple coin card. This sounds pretty decent because then you get a lot of coins and can buy stuff later as well. More stuff, hopefully, but it's not really helping you in a battle, so I don't like this spell too much, especially because I used all my willpower for healing, probably. So, yeah, not a great card, in my opinion. Not a great spell, I should say. Then there's Shield Bash, which is really good. It costs 4 blue defense, but blue energy or defense energy. But it will stun the enemy for 2 turns. This is really good because stunning means I get 2 free turns. And turns is like fundamental in this game. So stunning is really strong. I really want that. Also, Cleave is pretty strong. Damage selected front card and the cards beside it. So basically, it costs 6 as opposed to the 3 of our Stab right now. But it destroys 3 cards, or up to 3 cards, and not only 1. So this is pretty strong as well. And then there's Perceive, which is really cool because it reveals the second card from the front in each column. This is... okay, there are pretty good reasons for all of those 3. Stuns are just really cool, and or pretty good, and we just get a lot of shield energy anyway because we're warriors, so this is pretty good. Cleave is really good as well because it upgrades our attack, and it's way more effective than a Stab, and we get a lot of attack energy as well. And the reason for Perceive is not amazing, but it's pretty good. And the thing is that all our agility energy is pretty much wasted right now because our current spell, what's it called, Insight, is pretty bad. So I lean towards Perceive. I think I'm gonna take Perceive just because I want to use my agility energy like worthwhile. So we buy that for 30. It will automatically be equipped because we have 6 spell slots. If we buy more spells than 6, we have to replace them. And we could buy an item with, what do we have? A Topaz Shard, plus 1 attack energy at the start of battle. I don't like those, because it only gives you a buff at the start of battle, which is not great. Similar to the Leather Patch, which gives you plus 2 armor, so I don't really care about those. Okay, I have 2 choices now. I could either buy one of those, then I'm down to 6 coins and can't buy anything more, anything else. Or I could hold both of them. Holding for 10 means they will be available after the next battle in the shop as well. If I don't hold them, there will be completely new spells and stuff. I don't think this is a good use of money though, so I'm gonna buy one of them and just ignore the other. And I think upgrading the attack is more important because our shield is pretty good. Like our defense spell is pretty good already. It gives us armor at a pretty decent rate, 2 for 3 energy, 2 armor for 3 energy, so that's good. But this actually upgrades our attack quite a bit from 1 card for 3 to 3 cards for 6, so that's pretty decent. And double stun is nice, but I think we will get other good blue cards spells later, hopefully as well. Well, we will get other attack spells as well, but let's just go for it with the attack. I'm not sure if it's the better choice, but I go with it right now. So we don't have any items right now because I didn't bought any, but yeah, you can get items as well. You have 4 item slots too. Let's defeat the Cloud Fiend, shall we? Okay, so you can see our new spells and stuff in action. Okay, now you see our spell bar is full. All 6 slots are taken by spells, and we can use whatever we want. So now we have choice when we have blue or orange or green energy. Okay, the 7 is not matching, so we just have to skip our first turn, and he will deal 2 damage next turn. So we draw 4. That's good because we can mash it. We can either go to the 3 or the 5. It doesn't really matter. I think the 3 is better. Okay, here's why. Both of them are stuck, like there's no fitting card, but they will reveal a card. And if it is a 2, like if there's a 2 behind the 3, we can go for the ace. And if there's a king behind the ace, we can go to the queen. If there's a 6 behind the 5, we can go to the 7, but then we're probably stuck. So if there's not an 8 behind, like, yeah, it's not as good as the other way around. Also, the 3 has 2 cards behind the 5, so it's more important to take this down to reduce the columns, so we don't run out of columns. Because it's better to have multiple columns, it's easier to play that way because you have more choice. Like there's a higher chance of actually matching the cards. So let's go for the 3, for all the reasons mentioned. We didn't got anything, so it doesn't matter. There's a 6, so maybe if we got a 4 or an 8, we get a pretty good match. Or actually with a 5 or a 6 as well, because if we get not a 5, but the 6 as well, because with the 6 we could go 7, 6, 5, so that's good as well. So we want a 4, a 6, or an 8, if possible. But we take whatever we got, I guess. And it's a 5. It's not perfect, but it's good because it's matching. Okay, so we go for the 6, obviously, because that's our only choice. That's good. That's really good. Now we got a 6, so we can go 5, 6, 7. Nice. We can heal. We could attack. Do we have a good chance on a streak right now? Not really. Okay, so what is a streak? If you match 8 or more cards in 1 turn, you gain gold or coins for every card you match. Like the 8th card in the turn will give you, I think, 1 coin. The next one will give you 2, and it gets more the more cards you match in a row. A turn ends when I draw the next. Not necessarily when I click on the deck. You can draw cards with spells. I don't have one right now, but there are cards that let you draw a card from a deck, which will not actually end your turn, which allows you to combo multiple streaks together, which is pretty good. But usually, when you draw a card, you end your turn. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking about saving the attack. Yeah, we'll save the attack to maybe get a good card streak. Well, actually, we don't have too many cards left, don't we? Maybe that was silly. Well, we still can get a good streak, though, because we have a few matching cards here. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay, we got the 2. So we can go ace. Yeah, we have to use the attack right now because we will not get a card streak anyway, because we don't have enough cards left if we don't go for it now. So let's destroy the 8 because it's not fitting at all. Unfortunately, we didn't got anything lucky. Actually, I should have taken the 2 first. I'm an idiot. But it doesn't matter because it was not matching anyway. There we go. Okay, so we're stuck at the 2. We will not get a coin streak, so we will not get extra coins. Card streak, so we'll not get extra coins for that. That's unfortunate, but we probably can beat him now, or at least get pretty close to beating. No, we can actually beat him. There we go. The first few battles are fairly easy. However, you can get super unlucky, especially like if there's only 1 column left and you just don't draw the cards and the enemy throws out a few good attacks, then you can actually die in the first few battles. It's possible, not that unlikely, which is always a little annoying. The game is very, like, it has a lot of random factors. It's really, really luck-based, which is okay for a roguelite, as long as there are interesting decisions to make, and there are definitely are. Like, it's not super complex, it's not super deep and stuff, but there are definitely interesting decisions to make, and I have fun playing the game. I have certain points of critique, but the core gameplay, I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, let's take a look at the shop right now. Okay, we got Shield Bash again, so that's lucky. We could get Disengaged, but we have a good green card already now, so I don't think that's a good use for our money, especially because the ability is not that great. It's not terrible, but yeah. Pierce, I don't like Pierce at all. I don't think it's very efficient. 5 for 2 cards is not amazing. And Minor Heal, which is just an upgrade to our current heal, because we restore 2 for 3 instead of 1 for 2. We can only buy this or Shield Bash, though. I think we go for Shield Bash, because Shield Bash is pretty good. Because stunning the enemy is great, because it gives you basically 3 turns. We will not buy any of the items, because I don't like those. And we have to actually equip the spell, because now our slots are full. So let's replace Insight with the Shield Bash and go fighting the Dreary Thrix. So, the Dreary is the thing I mentioned earlier. Those cards get buffs and debuffs. So, there will be a Thrix in the in one of the 3 green cards, but the order is random. Like, it can be in any of the 3 cards, but it will always have some random adjectives. In this case, Dreary, which means he will drain our energy. Because this is basically, like, this will either change their deck or how the columns are spread. Sometimes there's an extra column or 1 column less or stuff like that. Or like special effects on the cards and stuff like that. So this can have effects on the game. Let's just see how it goes. So he will drain our energy. So we probably should use it whenever we can, so we don't lose it. That would be great. Because if you don't have energy, you can't drain it, right? 4, 3, 4. Okay. Decent start, not great. There we go, he got sap energy. Wow, that was really annoying. Okay. Anyway. We can't match anything. Unfortunate. 2 damage. Jack. Actually, you know what we do? We're actually gonna jump out here. Because you understand how the game works now. Escape is actually not working for some reason. Now let's take a look at the option menu while we are here. There are resolution options. There's borderless window on full screen, which is great. Then you have multiple quality presets, and you have separate sound sliders. The option menu is pretty decent. What I would like to see in the game would actually be like hotkeys and key rebinding, but there are no hotkeys, so we don't need key rebinding. God damn it. But like having numbers for the spells, for example, and escape to open the menu. Maybe enter or space to end your turn would be cool, I think. So anyway, this is our current deck. We have the deck of warriors and one of the upgrades unlocked. And now we can save and quit or end our journey. We're going to end our journey to show you the meta progression and a different deck. Okay, so we end. When you enter journey, you gain what they call wild stones. So our journey is over, but he will revive us. And we have to break the seal to gain wild stones. We got 5 wild stones. You get them based on your journey length and coins collected. So the more enemies you defeat, the more wild stones you get, and the more coins you collected in total, the more wild stones you get. And the third thing is there are certain cards which give you wild stones as well, in the later battles only though. And here's one of the things. If you start playing this game, those rewards are really, really low. Okay, we got 5. Obviously we cancelled the run on our own, but on my first few runs I got to like 7 or 8 enemies, and I got like 10 or 15 wild stones if I was lucky. And that's not a lot, because unlocking a new deck costs 60, and upgrading the warrior deck costs either 30 for the first upgrade or 60 for the other 2 upgrades. And like that's like, you play the first few, like I played I think 3 hours without upgrading anything, and you play the first few runs without upgrading anything and always playing the basic warrior deck, which is fairly boring, especially because if you like it's not a very interesting deck. The other decks are more interesting, I believe, at least to me. And that's one of my biggest critic points. Like, the progression system in the beginning is really fucked, in my opinion. It's way too slow. It kind of feels like this was designed as a mobile game. I don't think that's the case, but it feels like this was designed like a mobile game, free to play with microtransactions, and you have to buy, or you can buy Wildstones for real money. And then someone said, fuck it, we will just release it for a real price on Steam. But I don't think that's the case, but it kind of feels this way because of the progression is so slow at the beginning. However, it gets quicker later on, so this is probably a counterpoint to my argument earlier. Anyway, because you get, like, you can either upgrade your deck or you find a deck that's better. In my opinion, the Rogue deck is just plain better. Not plain better, but it's better than the Warrior deck in most circumstances. And it's easier to get further or actually beat the game with it, so it's easier to get more Wildstones. Or when you upgrade the deck, the deck actually gets plain better because you just replace some of your basic cards with better cards, so you have a higher chance of beating the game or getting further. And especially the last fight will give you so many Wildstones in comparison to everything else, because you will, I did beat the game with the Warrior, so I got this crown, and the crown gives you 8 Wildstones, and the last fight has a lot of Wildstone cards in it as well, so you get a lot of cards for just beating that last final boss, which makes sense. But it's also super annoying because it's the best way of actually unlocking stuff, and as long as you can't beat it, or don't manage to beat it because you're not playing it good enough, or you're not lucky enough, and you can't upgrade anything because you're stuck with the basic Warrior deck, you will not actually have any Wildstones to actually unlock anything, which is, yeah, it's my biggest critique point of the game, definitely. Let's take a look at the other upgrades here, just to show them off. This is the Queen of Swords. When drawn, damage a random back card. That's pretty good. And the King of Shields, when drawn, gives 2 armor. It's useful as well, I guess. And then there are, I think, 6 decks. The Bard, the Monk, the Rogue, the Paladin, the Wizard, and the Warrior. You can see they have all different color combinations. So the Wizard has purple and orange cards in it. The Paladin has blue and purple. And they have different starting spells as well. If we take a look at the Rogue, for example, or let's take a look at the Paladin, shall we? So as I said, blue and purple cards. He has Bash, which is basically a worse version of Stab, because it deals 1 damage as well, but costs 4 mana. He has White, who's Aura, which is only available in the Paladin deck. Gain 2 armor and 1 willpower. We don't see the costs here, unfortunately. That's really, really bad UI design, in my opinion. It should show the costs here. There's no point in not doing so. He has Insight, which is, as I mentioned, pretty terrible in my opinion. And Judge, which is another deck exclusive. Destroy random back card and restore 2 hard. Well, that's pretty good. I like that. Let's go to the Rogue, though, and play around with the Rogue, because I like the Rogue deck a lot. We just jump into it. I will explain the spells while we're at it. So, we will have pretty boring fights in the beginning, though, because we start with the first 3 fights. But it will be enough to show off the abilities of the Rogue. So, we fight the Dirt Guppy. Let's take him on. Ugh, so bright. Yeah. Okay. We don't have anything that matches, unfortunate. So I will explain the spells when we unlock them. Okay, we unlock the heal spell. That's the same one that as the Warrior has, which the Warrior has. So 2 energy for 1 heal, which is okay. Okay, we can match. Ace, 2, 3, 4. Cool. We unlock the best spell in the game. I think this is one of the best, if not the flat-out best card in the spell in the game. This is amazing. It's called Sleight of Hand, and it will immediately draw your deck's next card. It's not the only way of drawing the next card with the spell. I think there's at least 1 more spell which does that. But this one costs 3 mana. It's really strong. Okay, why is this strong? It's basically a free turn, because you draw a card without the enemy attacking you, which is good already. I mentioned earlier, stuns are pretty good. But it's even better than a stun, because it's not only a free turn, because it doesn't end your turn. It allows you to combo your card streaks together, which allows you to gain a long card streak in the early game, which gives you a lot of coins, which allows you to buy the spells and items you want later, which will increase your chances of winning the game quite a bit. I think this is one of the strongest spells, if not the strongest spell in the game, definitely. It's really, really good. We will not going to use it right now, because actually, wait, the decks in the first few decks in the first few fights are pretty small, so it's hard to get good card streaks. He has 9, 10, 11 cards left, so actually, if you want to get a card streak, probably now is the right time. So let's just use it. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything matching. Well, too bad. Yeah, here's some negative cards. Blank Stare, he gives me just willpower, which is cool. This one is pretty good as well. It's a pretty good attack card. It's called Nimble Slash, and it deals 1 damage for 3, so as the same as Stab. But additionally, it gives you 1 agility energy, which is really cool because this actually charges Sleight of Hands. So this is a pretty good spell as well. And that's what I mean. Like, those 2 cards are way better than the ones of the Warrior. Like, this is just plain better. It's like the Warrior Stab, 3 mana, 1 damage. This is 3 mana, 1 damage, and a point of agility. Sleight of Hands is 10 times better than Insight, by far. This is the same one that the Warrior has, and this one is a little worse than the card from the defense spell from the Warrior, because it only gives 1 armor for 2 instead of 2 armor for 3. But yeah, the others are just way better. Okay, we obviously get different colors, like the Warrior gets blue and orange, so having blue is important for him, a good blue one. But we get orange and green, and both of those spells are super, super good in my opinion, or super good starting spells at least. So yeah, I think this deck is way better than the Warrior deck. We get a few good matches here. Let's pick some. Actually, picking up the armor here is a bad idea because it means we can't use our willpower to heal ourselves because we don't take damage. So we will eventually leak energy because we can only store 10 of each color. So it's probably not going to happen in this fight, and even if it happens, it doesn't matter. But I mean, if you have 10 willpower energy, it means you can heal pretty much everything in the first few fights at least. So you're probably in a good situation if you're leaking willpower. So yeah, it's not a big deal. We should actually use this, shall we? That was not good. Doesn't matter though. We will fight. We will defeat him anyway. Like the first few fights are usually easy if you're not super unlucky. Okay, this will actually be kind of a combo. Hopefully that is. There we go. It was not enough cards to gain a card streak though, unfortunately. Yeah, we didn't get a card streak, but I think we were 1 card off or something, maybe 2. Well, a short card streak of 8 cards is not that useful either, because anyway, so because it only gives you 1 coin. But if you get a long streak of 14 cards or something, you get a lot of coins, which will be very useful. So yeah, I think I showed you enough of the game. Sorry for squeaking. Not sure what happened there with my voice, but yeah, it's a pretty cool game. The 2 big points I have issues with, as the setup progression system is way too slow in the beginning for the first few runs in the first few hours of the game. And the other big thing is, or the other 2 things are, as I mentioned earlier, key bindings, or hotkeys, and key bindings would be cool. And more important, a speed up version. Like, there's no way of speeding up the animations, and they don't take that long, but they add up a lot. Like, having a way to either give us a double speed or something, or the animations play twice as fast, or I don't know, just like pressing the left mouse button will cancel the animations. That would be pretty tedious though. Like, there are a lot of animations that all take, like, playing a card, playing an enemy playing a card, stuff like that, playing a spell, or everything will take like up to a second or so, and that it's just annoying. It takes too long. It would be nice to have like a double speed option, as I said. So that's the 3 critic points I have, but the game itself is pretty cool. I kind of like it. Let's say save and quit and go to the... Oh, that actually ends the game. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the main menu. It doesn't matter though, I showed you everything there is. So, yeah, it's called Solitairica. It's available on Steam. The link is in the description below if you're interested. I'm THPine. I thank you a lot for watching. If you liked or disliked the video, feel free to press the like or dislike button below. Have fun and see you next time.